Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. For those who are new here, I am Psychic Bella Love. You can book your own personal private reading with me on my site, psychicbellalove.com. Also, I am now offering energy healing. So I was gone also, recertifying and brushing up on things because I hadn't done healings in a long time. So those are also available on the site, and you can use coupon code YouTube to get $10 off. I also permanently lowered all the prices of all the services on the site as well. So they're already discounted, plus you get an extra 10 bucks off. And if you are booking a reading, you can book a healing for an additional low cost and get an extra discount on that. And then you can also just book healings on their own. So psychicbellalove.com, coupon code YouTube to get 10 bucks off. And I also have added more availability and appointment times as well. So I just wanted to go through real quick because I've had this running list in the back of my head of people that Spirit keeps telling me are going to be exposed next or deal with some sort of cancellation or things being brought back up around because, it's kind of like they almost get canceled but never do. So first with that is Charlamagne. There's a lot more that is going to come out about him. I do feel Charlamagne having a very almost Joe Budden-esque into his podcast because of things that are going to come out in his co-hosts, really being oh shit, we need to get the hell away from you because we're not trying to go down on this ship with you. So Charlamagne is somebody, we've seen that story about that Jessica girl, his victim has come around again and again and again, but there is more that other people have on him, other instances that have happened, other industry stories, because I don't get that it's just essay type things or harassment, towards people of the opposite gender, but also bullying in the workplace, maybe he was picking on people on his come up or mistreating people when it came time to sign contracts and things like that. So there's a lot that's gonna come out about Charlamagne. He's kind of escaped being completely canceled for a little too long. Also, I do keep getting that there is gonna be an end to the Breakfast Club because of the stuff connected to all of that. Now, guys, there is no time frame on any of this. These are just people that, I happen to sit there and just be looking at a picture of them one day and Spirit, I just connected to their energy and Spirit started telling me what was coming up with them, or I've been meaning to do a reading on them, but honestly, with Charlamagne, it's there's not really a point in doing a whole entire reading on that because it's not really that big of a deal. So that's why I just wanted to sit down and throw something in. This one's going to be shocking to a lot of people, but if you are on Station Head, you've heard me say this over and over. Taylor Swift has a lot of things that are going to come up to the surface. We've seen where people brought the point up that she had engaged with people underage, in some sort of type of relationships in the past, and then that got swept away. That is going to come about again, but there's also going to be talks about her bullying people or maybe doing things that cut out or hurt other people or kept them from getting work. And also I always kept getting something about prejudice or racism connected to her as well is coming out. James Charles, there is more that is going to come out about him. Same thing with Shane Dawson. So the two of them might think oh, the coast is clear and I can creep back out. And then bam, here comes some more. Jeffree Star and Morphe are about to have huge lawsuits against each other. That's going to be a huge battle. And also, I will be really surprised if Morphe as a company is still standing within the next 2 to 3 years because they are on their way, out. And part of that is the karma in them choosing to work with such, toxic, really, bad people all the time. And especially the fact that they were giving those opportunities to people who were so problematic, like the Jeffree Stars and the James Charleses, instead of giving those same opportunities to creators of color who had real talent, and they could have really given a boost to those people. And so, you know, when I'm talking to you guys about how like we're going to see spiritual Robin Hood play out, that is a part of it, where, you know, we also see that a lot of the like white or you know, white presenting influencers who have been canceled, like James Charles, like Shane Dawson, you know, part of that is that spiritual Robin Hood and ancestors being like, you got all these opportunities over people of color who had way more talent than you, and especially somebody like James, who, you know, a lot of the looks and things that he went viral for, he took from a smaller creator, usually a woman or man of color, without crediting them. And so, you know, those people's ancestors are playing a part in all of the stuff that's happening to James as well. But we haven't seen or heard all of his victims yet. There's more people who just feel like, okay, well, if justice is being served and he is being canceled, then, you know, maybe I don't have to put myself on the line and tell my story too. But if they see him coming back and feel like he's not getting punished enough, or there's not enough heavy consequences for him, then expect a whole new wave of people who have the same kind of complaints to come out against him. Also, the same way that we saw Drake Bell get arrested for something that happened years ago, I still always keep getting James is going to have some sort of legal consequences to deal with in connection to, you know, the stuff that he has done. Now, Shane, there's also other things about him, like kind of more friendship type things, like where we saw, you know, Trisha come out and talk about her experiences with him. We're going to see other people come out and talk about their own negative experiences with Shane, should he try to come back out as well. Now, Trisha Paytas quitting the Frenemies podcast. I know a lot of people thought when I did my original reading on her that I was reading her past and that she'd already gotten past all that bad stuff that I said was gonna come. That was gonna lead to her having to force herself to finally like take accountability and work on herself and heal. She's in that rock bottom moment now. We all know Trisha's great at self-sabotage, and Trisha is in a huge self-sabotage moment. Gabby Hanna, Shane Dawson, all of this stuff that's gone on with all these dramatic encounters with, you know, friends, ex-friends, whatever, has really triggered her. And so she's just on a path of, you know, not great right now. So just keep her in your prayers. She's struggling with her mental health. She will end up getting some kind of help and everything, but she's just on that moment where she's spiraling towards a rock bottom. And let's see, Jay Z, every time that I tune into his energy, and I am going to do a whole reading about this later on, before anybody asks, and no, I'm still not taking reading requests. I have told you guys I'm never going to again, because people have just been too incredibly rude and disrespectful when it comes to that. And I'm not a psychic puppet. I do my readings based on what spirit tells me, because I'm not a toxic new age spiritual reader. I'm a true spiritual person and healer and psychic. And so I'm just not going to do what everybody demands of me. I'm going to do what spirit tells me to do. So, but Jay Z, I keep getting that, you know, with the way that things keep cycling back up, you know, and he's looking at people like T.I., who's having all of these people come out against him saying, hey, you know, like he hurt me and him and Tiny did this and that to me. And same way that now we see that, you know, there is a biography that's being written about Aaliyah, and they're talking about how she was dating Static Major. Like, Jay-Z really notices how like stories never really completely go away and die. And he's scared that mistakes that he made in his past are going to come back to haunt him again. On top of that, he is struggling with financial stuff. His business moves and things that he's got going on behind the scenes are costing him more money than he's making right now. And so I just feel like Jay is really worried that before he's able to get his financial situation completely settled down, that something is going to come up that's going to end up affecting overall, like all of that. And then it's just going to end up, making everything that he's trying to fix end up falling apart or getting even worse in the long run. So he's very worried that past secrets are going to come up and affect him financially right now. And also I keep getting that, and I know this isn't really like, but it's just connected to this whole thing, because I know Beyoncé, they said that she's working on music. I don't feel her working with Jay on that music as much as people would assume that she would. I know that, their last projects were really heavily, involving each other and everything, but I feel her being more separate from him in this upcoming, stuff that she's got going on. And part of that is because they are preparing themselves just in case something does come up or happen because of Jay and his past, that at least Beyoncé is like a separate financial entity away from him, and she can continue to bring in an income and not have their whole entire family be affected. So part of this is just stuff, pandemic related, where people couldn't tour, they couldn't do the endorsements and collaborations and all of this and that when things were shut down. It costs more money now to do stuff because you have to make sure everybody's getting tested and safety protocols, and you can't have as many people on set at a time and all of that kind of stuff. And so, overall, the pandemic definitely did affect things as far as, money goes for a lot of artists. And, Jay runs a label, he runs a management company. So those things obviously do end up, making a snowball effect all the way up to the top. So he's feeling that. And the last one that I wanted to touch on real quick is there's more that's coming out about Tristan Thompson. So even though, we haven't seen him and Chloe break up yet, she's going to end up having to separate herself from that man because more is coming out about him. And I also keep feeling like another girl who's similar to that Slim Danger girl who did out Tristan and Odell Beckham. Another girl like that is going to come out and expose a lot of famous people too, where she's talking about, I got flown out to hook up with French Montana, and then the next day I was at this person's house, and the next day I was at that person's house. So expect that we'll hear even more about more athletes and rappers, and it is going to be some of their secret fetishes being exposed, who likes to play around with straps and whatnot. And also more allegations against French Montana will be coming as well. So those are the ones that I just, have been having floating around in my head that I did not want to forget. And I wanted to share with you guys because I know we keep talking about all these people getting exposed, but keep in mind, that is what happens when we are in Mercury retrograde, and especially when it's in an air energy, because it's about uncovering what's broken so that we're aware of it so we can do something about it. So, there's going to be a lot of heavy stuff coming out. Oh, and lots more coming out around Bill Gates and his involvement with Jeffrey Epstein, but also the affairs and different allegations against him making inappropriate moves towards people in different work settings. There are even more stories to come about him as well, and some of them are going to be very salacious. So stay tuned for that. Anyways, guys, I love you all so very much. My AC is finally fixed, so now we can finally record again on a regular basis, which is going to be good. I do have more availabilities for appointments. I am offering healings now. So you can go to my website, psychicbellalove.com, coupon code YouTube at checkout will get you $10 off any appointment, healings, readings, all of it. So I love you, and I will see you all again soon. Bye.